Linda stood in her hallway at 54 years old, staring at a pair of gym shoes she hadn't touched in 3 years. They sat there like a monument to good intentions, dusty, forgotten, mocking her with memories of a younger version of herself who actually had energy. She felt trapped by her schedule, by her exhaustion, by the quiet resignation that this was just how life looked now. But what if I told you the secret to transforming your health wasn't hiding in some expensive gym membership or fancy equipment? What if it was already in your living room, your kitchen, your daily routine, just waiting for you to see it differently? One conversation with a nurse friend named Carmen changed everything for Linda. And by the end of this story, you'll understand why meaningful transformation doesn't require a complete life overhaul. Sometimes it just requires one small shift. If you ever felt too tired, too busy, or too old to get fit, this story is for you. Comment below right now. What's your biggest excuse for not exercising? Let's talk about it. Linda's days had become depressingly predictable. Wake up exhausted, rush through breakfast, sit at her desk for 8 hours answering emails and attending virtual meetings, come home to cook dinner, help her teenage daughter with homework, check on her aging mother, then collapse on the couch. The couch. That's where the real hours disappeared. She'd tell herself she deserved it. Just one episode of her favorite show to decompress. But one became 3. 3 became 4. Before she knew it, midnight had arrived and she'd accomplished nothing except scrolling through social media and half watching television. She couldn't even remember the next day. The excuses came easily. I'm too tired. I don't have space for workout equipment. Gyms are expensive. Exercise is for people who have time, people without my responsibilities. And the one, she whispered only to herself, exercise is for the young. I've missed my window. Her body had started sending signals she couldn't ignore. The stairs at work left her breathless. Her back ached constantly. Sleep came hard and left her feeling unrest. Her clothes fit differently, tighter in all the wrong places. Her mood had soured, snapping at her daughter over small things, feeling irritable and gray. Last Tuesday, she needed to carry groceries from a car. 2 bags. Just 2. By the time she reached the kitchen, her heart was pounding and her arms were shaking. She caught a reflection in the hallway mirror and didn't recognize the tired woman staring back. That's when her phone buzzed. Carmen, her nurse friend from book club, asking to meet for coffee. Sound familiar? Hit that like button if you've ever felt stuck in this exact cycle, because you're about to see how one conversation changed everything. Carmen was already at their usual coffee shop, 2 lattes waiting, when Linda arrived. But something was different about Carmen. She radiated energy, not the frantic, caffeinated kind, but something steadier, more grounded. You look amazing, Linda said, sliding into booth. What's your secret? New vitamins? Face cream? Because I need whatever you're selling. Carmen laughed. Would you believe me if I said soup cans in 10 minutes? Soup cans. Sit. Let me tell you a story. Carmen wrapped her hands around her mug. 5 years ago, my doctor sat me down and gave me the talk. My blood pressure was climbing. She said I was on track for medication if I didn't make changes. The problem? I'm a nurse working 12-hour shifts. I have 2 kids. I barely have time to shower, let alone join a gym. Linda leaned forward. This was her life Carmen was describing. I went through all the same excuses you're probably thinking right now, Carmen continued. No time, no money, no space. Too exhausted. But then I had this moment of clarity. I didn't need permission to move my body. I didn't need special equipment or a monthly membership. I just needed to stop waiting for the perfect conditions and start with what I had, which was my living room, 10 minutes, and the decision to reframe everything I was already doing. Linda felt something stir in her chest, hope mixed with skepticism, and it actually worked. Carmen pulled out her phone, showing Linda a photo from 5 years ago beside a recent one. The difference wasn't just physical, though that was obvious. It was the light in her eyes, the confidence in her posture. My blood pressure is normal. I sleep like a rock. I have energy to actually play with my kids instead of just surviving around them. And Linda, Carmen reached across the table, I'm telling you this because I see you struggling. I see you making the same excuses I made. And I want to show you there's another way. Linda felt tears prickling behind her eyes. I don't know if I can. You don't have to transform overnight. Just try it with me. 1 week. If you hate it, we'll never speak of it again. But if it works... Carmen smiled. Well, then you'll have your life back. Linda took a shaky breath. What did she have to lose except more tired, gray days that all blurred together? Okay, she whispered. 1 week. Show me what you've got. The home fitness hacks. Number 1, the 10-minute morning ritual. Carmen's first instruction seemed almost insultingly simple. Set your alarm for 10 minutes earlier. Before anyone else is awake, before you check your phone, before you do anything, stretch. Linda's first morning was humiliating. She couldn't touch her toes. Her hamstrings screamed. Her balance wobbled during a simple leg lift. She felt ridiculous stretching in her pajamas, in her living room while the house slept. But something unexpected happened by minute 8. Her body started warming up. Her breathing deepened. Her mind, usually immediately racing with the day's to-do list, felt strangely calm. Don't judge the poses, Carmen had instructed. Just move. Reach for the ceiling. Roll your shoulders. Stretch your back. Touch what you can. The goal isn't perfection. It's showing up. By day 4, Linda noticed she was waking up with less stiffness. By day 7, those 10 minutes had become non-negotiable. Not because she'd become some fitness fanatic, but because of how the rest of her day felt when she started it with intentional movement. You've just hacked your morning, Carmen told her during their check-in. You've told your body and your mind, today, I'm choosing me first. That mindset shift ripples into everything else. Linda had won before breakfast, and that feeling was addictive. Number 2, chores as cardio. You spend how many hours a week cleaning? Carmen asked during their second training session, which was really just Carmen vacuuming with Linda. I don't know. Too many? Wrong answer. You spend hours a week in built-in workout opportunities, and you're wasting them by just going through the motions. Carmen demonstrated. She vacuumed in long, powerful lunges, engaging her legs and core. When she picked up laundry, she did it with proper squat form, deep controlled, working her glutes and thighs. Unloading groceries became an opportunity for bicep curls with canned goods. You're telling me housework is exercise? Linda asked, incredulous. I'm telling you movement is movement. Your body doesn't know the difference between a squat at the gym and a squat picking up toys. Calories burn either way. Muscles engage either way. The only difference is your mindset. Linda started experimenting. She turned on upbeat music and danced while cooking dinner. Really danced, not just swayed. She did calf raises while brushing her teeth. She made a game of how many lunges she could fit in while tidying the living room. Her daughter walked in one evening to find Linda doing exaggerated squats while putting away dishes. Mom, what are you doing? Getting stronger while getting stuff done, Linda replied, not even embarrassed. Want to join me? Her daughter rolled her eyes but grabbed a dish. 2 squats later, they were both laughing. The burden of chores had transformed into something else entirely. Opportunity disguised as obligation. Number 3, walk and talk revolution. How much time do you spend on the phone? Carmen asked. Linda thought about it. Probably an hour a day? Between my mom, my sister, friends. Perfect. From now on, those calls happen while walking. It seemed too simple to work. But the first time Linda took her usual evening call with her sister outside instead of sprawled on the couch, something shifted. The conversation felt different, more energized. And when she checked her phone later, she'd walk 2 miles without even noticing. Carmen and Linda made it a competition. They'd text each other their daily step counts. Small prizes for whoever hit 10,000 first. They replaced their usual Sunday afternoon TV marathons with walk and talk phone sessions, exploring neighborhoods, discovering parks they'd driven past 1,000 times but never actually visited. I'm moving my body and strengthening my relationships, Linda realized. I'm not sacrificing one for the other anymore. The social component made it sustainable. On days Linda didn't feel like walking, knowing Carmen was counting on their call got her out the door. Accountability wrapped in friendship, the perfect formula. Who else is glued to their phone for hours? Imagine turning that into fitness time. Drop a person walking in the comments if you try this hack. Number 4, DIY circuit training. Carmen showed up at Linda's house on Saturday with a backpack full of supplies. Except they weren't fitness supplies. They were soup cans, water bottles, a sturdy chair, and a resistance band she'd bought for $8 at the drugstore. "This is my gym," Carmen announced. "And now it's yours too." She taught Linda a simple circuit. Soup cans became dumbbells for bicep curls and shoulder presses. The chair became equipment for tricep dips, step-ups, and elevated push-ups. Water bottles added weight to squats. The resistance band created tension for rows and lateral raises. 15 minutes, 3 times a week, Carmen instructed. That's all. No commute, no waiting for machines, no judgment. Just you, your living room, and household items. Linda felt absurdly empowered. She didn't need permission from some trainer or expensive membership to build strength. Everything she needed was already here. She started doing her circuits while her daughter did homework at the kitchen table. Sometimes her daughter would join in. Sometimes her husband would wander through and do a set of chair dips. It stopped being Linda's private workout and became family entertainment. "I can't believe I spent years thinking I needed a gym to get fit," Linda told Carmen. "I had everything I needed right here the whole time." Number 5, hydration and micro breaks. Carmen's final hack was the simplest but most overlooked. "Water," she said, placing a large glass pitcher on Linda's counter. "But make it interesting." She filled it with cucumber slices, lemon wedges, and mint leaves. Every time you walk by, pour a glass, make it a ritual. Proper hydration affects everything: energy, mood, recovery, even appetite. Linda had been chronically dehydrated for years without realizing it. She confused thirst for hunger, fatigue for laziness. The infused water made drinking feel less like a chore and more like a treat. "And while you're up getting water," Carmen added, "do a stretch. Just one. Reach for the ceiling. Roll your neck. Flex your ankles. Something." Linda started setting timers during her work-from-home days. Every hour, stand up, stretch, drink water. 2 minutes, tops. It broke up the sedentary monotony and kept her body from stiffening into her desk chair. She bought a cheap resistance band to keep at her desk. During boring conference calls where she didn't need to be on camera, she'd loop around her feet and do seated rows. 5 minutes of movement during what used to be wasted time. "It's all about integration," Carmen explained. "You're not adding fitness to your life like it's some separate obligation. You're weaving it into what you already do. That's how it becomes sustainable. That's how it stops being a chore and starts being just life." Linda finally understood. Consistency didn't mean perfection. It meant showing up in small ways, repeatedly, until those small ways became automatic. The transformation. 3 months later, Linda went for her annual checkup. She hadn't been on a scale in over a year, afraid of what the number would say. But her doctor's face told the story before the numbers did. "Whatever you're doing," her doctor said, reviewing her chart, "keep doing it. Your blood pressure is down. Your resting heart rate is better. You've lost weight. But more importantly, how do you feel?" Linda thought about it. "I feel alive again." That was the truth. She woke up with energy instead of dread. She climbed stairs without gasping. Her back didn't ache constantly. Her clothes fit better, not just physically, but energetically. She stood taller, moved with more confidence. But the physical changes, as wonderful as they were, paled compared to everything else. Her daughter had started joining her for morning stretches before school. They'd have their best conversations during those 10 quiet minutes, bonding in a way that felt impossible when they were both glued to screens. Her husband had noticed her evening walks and started coming along. Their relationship, strained by years of exhaustion and separate routines, had found new ground. They talked again, laughed again, made plans that didn't revolve around the couch. Her 5-year-old grandson had visited last weekend and declared, "Grandma, you're so strong," because she'd lifted him over her head, something she couldn't have done 6 months ago. They'd done exercises together in the living room, turning Soupkin curls into a game. He'd gone home and told his parents Grandma was the coolest. The ripple effect surprised Linda most. Her sister had asked about her routine and started implementing the same hacks. 2 co-workers had noticed her energy and wanted details. Her book club had replaced their usual sitting and snacking format with walking meetings once a month. Linda had become Carmen, the person who showed others that transformation didn't require perfection or massive investment, just small, consistent choices that added up to something extraordinary. "I spent so many years waiting," Linda told Carmen during one of their walk-in talks. "Waiting for the right time, the right equipment, the right motivation. I was waiting for permission that never came because no one else could give it to me. I had to give it to myself." Carmen squeezed her hand. "And now look at you. You're giving permission to everyone around you just by showing up." 6 months into her journey, Linda hosted a gathering at her house. Friends and family filled her living room, the same living room where she'd started with awkward stretches in her pajamas. "I want to show you something," Linda said, pulling out those dusty gym shoes from her hallway. Everyone looked confused. For 3 years, these sat there. They were my excuse. I'd look at them and think, I should go to the gym. But I never did, because I was waiting for some dramatic transformation moment. I was waiting to feel ready. She held them up. "These shoes haven't moved. I still haven't gone to the gym, but I'm in the best shape of my life. You want to know why?" She gestured around the room. "Because my gym is this living room. My equipment is that chair, those soup cans in the kitchen. This resistance band I bought for $8. My workout time is during chores, phone calls, TV commercials, and work breaks. I stopped waiting for perfect conditions and started working with what I had." Her friend Maria spoke up hesitantly. "But I don't have time." "Neither did I," Linda interrupted gently. "But I had 10 minutes in the morning. I had phone calls I was already making. I had housework I was already doing. I didn't need new time. I just needed to see my existing time differently. But I'm not in shape enough to start." "Neither was I. That's why you start small. So small it feels silly. But silly beats sitting still." Carmen, standing in the corner, smiled. This was exactly what she'd hoped for when she'd shared her story with Linda 6 months ago. Not just one transformation, but a cascade of them. Linda had proven what Carmen already knew. Health isn't something you purchase at a gym or find in a pill bottle. It's something you practice moment by moment in the margins of your regular life. It's not about having more time or more money or more willpower. It's about seeing opportunity where you used to see obligation. It's about understanding that the smallest steps, taken consistently, travel farther than giant leaps taken once and abandoned. "So here's what I want you to know," Linda said, looking around at the faces of people she loved. "You don't need to wait. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect circumstances. You just need to start. 10 minutes tomorrow morning. One phone call turned into a walk. One household chore done with intention. That's all. Just one small thing." Her grandson tugged on her sleeve. "Grandma, can we do the souping game again?" Linda laughed and picked him up, easily, confidently. "Absolutely. Who else wants to join us?" Half the room moved into her living room. Soup cans appeared. Laughter filled the space where excuses used to live. And Linda realized this was the real transformation, not the weight lost or the blood pressure lowered, though those mattered. The real transformation was remembering that life wasn't something that happened to her. It was something she could actively shape, one small choice at a time. Right at home, Linda proved that your living room can be your gym, your kitchen can be your workout space, and your daily routine can become your fitness plan. If this inspired you, subscribe and share this with someone who thinks they're too busy to get healthy. Now I want to hear from you. What's one household item you could use for exercise today? Soup cans? Stairs? A sturdy chair? Tell us in the comments. Let's get creative together. Your transformation might be hiding in your pantry right now. The smallest steps lead to the biggest changes. Are you ready to take yours?